Do you want to control your appetite? Do you want to know why you overeat? The answer is simple. Understand your hormones and build habits that optimize them. Why does that work? This slide explains everything. When you feel hungry, that's not a sign of weak willpower. It's a hormone called ghrelin being released from your stomach. This hormone sends a powerful signal to your brain, eat. On the other side, when you finish eating, your fat cells release leptin. Leptin signals the hypothalamus, enough. That's the system as it's designed to work. But here's the problem. Sleep deprivation, stress, and excess sugar disrupt this balance. When your appetite feels out of control, that's not your fault. It's hormonal dysregulation. This is a fact proven by endocrinology and obesity research. The core mechanisms are well established, but real-world overeating and obesity involve multiple overlapping factors. Today, let me show you the science. And here's what matters. This is optimizable. Sleep 7 to 9 hours every night. Include protein at every meal. Do this, and your appetite hormones will shift. Today, I'll show you the science behind it. What is ghrelin? It's a stomach-derived hormone identified by Kojima and colleagues in 1999. Its name comes from its role in stimulating growth hormone release. Here's how the mechanism works. As time passes after your last meal, your stomach empties. At that moment, cells in the stomach's fundus release ghrelin. Ghrelin travels through the bloodstream to the hypothalamus in your brain, specifically to a region called the arcuate nucleus. There, it activates neurons known as NPY and AGRP. This cascade generates a powerful hunger signal. That feeling of "I'm hungry" is produced by this molecular-level signaling. It's not a matter of willpower. It's chemical inevitability. And what happens when you finish eating? Ghrelin secretion drops after a meal. However, the timing and degree of that drop vary depending on meal composition and individual differences. With that foundation in place, let's look at how the satiety hormone works. Next up, the satiety hormone, leptin. In 1994, Zhang and colleagues in the Friedman lab identified it as the OB gene, later named leptin. That discovery revolutionized obesity research. Leptin's role is straightforward. Your fat cells sense how much body fat you're carrying. Then they signal the hypothalamus, there's enough fat, you don't need to eat. More fat means more leptin. Less fat means less leptin. This is the body's natural appetite regulation system. But here's what happens in people with obesity. With too many fat cells, leptin is produced in excess continuously. Yet the brain's ability to receive leptin and respond to it downstream becomes blunted through multiple mechanisms. This is leptin resistance. It involves reduced leptin transport across the blood-brain barrier, activation of a signaling suppressor called SOCS3, chronic inflammation, and other compounding mechanisms. The result: satiety becomes harder to feel, and eating continues. Leptin resistance is at the root of the vicious cycle where obesity drives more obesity. This is the most important point in today's video. In 2004, Spiegel and colleagues at the University of Chicago published a groundbreaking study in the Annals of Internal Medicine. They divided young, healthy men into two groups. One group got 4 hours of sleep. The other got 10. Just 2 nights. The results were clear. Ghrelin rose in the sleep-deprived group. Leptin fell. Just 2 nights of poor sleep increased appetite. Beyond that, cravings for high-calorie foods, snacks, sweets, salty foods, surged dramatically. This is not a willpower issue. It's hormonal dysregulation. You might be thinking, that's an extreme example. But a 2023 meta-analysis reconfirmed that sleep deprivation significantly increases energy intake. Every night, ghrelin climbs and leptin falls. Every night of poor sleep, you're feeding your own worst enemy in the diet battle. For most adults, 7 to 9 hours of sleep is recommended. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a physiological necessity for protecting hormonal balance. With that foundation established, let's look at practical strategies to optimize your appetite hormones. Let's talk about food. Specifically, high fructose corn syrup. It's a sweetener widely used in soft drinks, packaged pastries, and processed foods. Why does it have the potential to impair metabolism? Statements from the American Heart Association and systematic reviews in the BMJ have outlined the risks. Glucose, regular sugar, is used as energy by cells throughout the body. But fructose is different. Nearly all of it is processed in the liver. The liver converts fructose into triglycerides. Animal studies and mechanistic research suggest that elevated triglycerides may reduce leptin's effectiveness in the central nervous system. That said, obesity and metabolic deterioration in humans result not from fructose alone, but from a combination of excess calorie intake, increased body fat, inflammation, and insulin resistance. The accurate framing isn't fructose is the sole villain. Its excess consumption damages metabolism through multiple compounding pathways. Check the ingredient labels on processed foods. If you see high fructose corn syrup or similar sweeteners listed, that's worth paying attention to. Consumption through beverages especially tends to add up without you realizing it. It's not just about whether it's present, it's about not drinking too much of it. Now here's where it gets practical. Once you understand the hormones, you have the tools to work with them. First, protein. In a 2005 study by Weigel and colleagues, increasing protein to 30% of dietary intake led to greater satiety and a significant reduction in calorie consumption. Why? The primary reason is increased secretion of satiety hormones, specifically PYY and GLP-1, not just changes in ghrelin. Protein takes longer to digest, sustaining gut hormone release over time. Second, fiber. Fiber ferments in the gut, producing short-chain fatty acids. Those short-chain fatty acids stimulate L cells in the intestine to release PYY and GLP-1. These hormones send a direct full signal to the hypothalamus. A diet rich in vegetables, legumes, and whole grains is, in fact, a hormonal strategy. Third, exercise. Research by King and colleagues found that acylated ghrelin drops immediately after aerobic exercise, temporarily suppressing appetite. The magnitude of change varies by exercise intensity, type, and individual, but this is the physiological explanation for why exercise can reduce hunger. Include protein at every meal. Be intentional about fiber intake. Add light movement after eating. This combination puts your appetite hormones under scientifically grounded control. When you're stressed, why do you crave sweets and fatty foods? There's a clear answer to this too. Multiple neuroscience studies, including research by Chuang and colleagues, have mapped the mechanism. When you experience stress, cortisol is released. That cortisol influences ghrelin production in the stomach, driving appetite up. Stress, right-pointing arrow, elevated cortisol, right-pointing arrow, activation of the ghrelin system, right-pointing arrow, increased appetite. This is the biological mechanism behind emotional overeating. Stress eating is not weakness, it's a hormonal response. And this phenomenon has a troubling downstream effect. Chronic, ongoing stress reinforces a preference for high-calorie foods. The brain strengthens the circuit. Stress right-pointing arrow, eat. So what can you do? Recognize that stress management is part of appetite control. Deep breathing, meditation, walking in nature. These reduce cortisol and calm the ghrelin system. To control your appetite, you can't just focus on what's on your plate. Sleep, stress, exercise, nutrition. These are all part of one interconnected system. Let's bring today's key points together. Here's your summary. First, sleep. Getting the 7 to 9 hours recommended for most adults prevents unnecessary ghrelin spikes and protects leptin's normal function. Sleep deprivation is powerful enough to disrupt hormonal balance in as little as 2 nights. Second, nutritional strategy. Including protein at every meal elevates PYY and GLP-1 secretion, while dietary fiber stimulates intestinal L cells to sustain satiety. Excess consumption of high fructose foods impairs metabolism through multiple pathways. Consciously limiting intake matters. Third, exercise and stress management. Aerobic exercise temporarily suppresses appetite, and stress management prevents the cortisol-driven hunger response. These are the invisible pillars of appetite control. As a supplement, in recent years, GLP-1 receptor agonists and other treatments that leverage the physiology of appetite and satiety have advanced significantly. Alongside lifestyle interventions, it's worth knowing that medical options are expanding. How many hours of sleep will you get tonight? Going to bed just 30 minutes earlier tonight will shift your appetite hormones by tomorrow. Share your strategy in the comments below. Thanks for investing in your health today. On this channel, we break down every mechanism of the human body, from appetite hormones to the science of sleep, grounded in evidence. We'll keep answering your health questions with evidence, not emotion. Subscribe and learn the science of your body alongside me. Turn on notifications, and every time a new video drops, your understanding of your own health goes up another level. Until next time.